Case 1049, Columbus, Ohio. Subject, Daniel W., 32 years old and an IT support worker. He lived alone in a third-floor apartment. His first note came March 20th. I keep hearing something in the vents. At first, Daniel thought it was just the heating system. He removed one of the vent covers to check, but there was just dust. Nothing else. It wasn't always the sound that disturbed him, though. It was the timing. Always after 2 a.m. It was slow, rhythmic, almost like breathing. A person inhaling through their nose, pausing, then exhaling through their mouth. By the second week, he moved his mattress to the living room. He told his sister over the phone, "There's someone in the walls. I can hear them move." Maintenance was
suspended.
No one could enter. The last audio log was April 2nd, 3:14 a.m. A loud clatter, metal, hitting the floor, then breathing. Louder, closer. Police found the apartment sealed from the inside. No one was in the vents. But inside the ductwork, there were long end scratches from the other side. The case was closed as psychological distress during lockdown. However, the audio file still remains, and whatever is breathing was in danger. Story 2, The Balcony Light. Case 2763, Los Angeles. Subject, Nadia R. She was 29 and a nurse. She lived alone in a downtown high-rise. Every single night at 11:47 p.m., she noticed a single balcony light in the building across the courtyard. It was always the same unit, and it was always the same time. At first it was comforting, a reminder that someone else was awake. Weeks later, however, she noticed movement. Shadows stepping into the lights. They were standing still, and then also stepping right back. She waited once, and there was no response. She thought to herself it was pretty creepy. However, she ignored it at the time. Then, the timing started to shift. 11:47, 11:43, 11:40. Every night earlier, as if whoever was there was getting closer. She called building security. "Ma'am, that floor has been vacant since 2019. The final report includes one image taken through her window. In the reflection behind her was a figure, standing, watching. Her unit was later found locked from the inside. Lights in both buildings were off. Story No. 3, The Livestream. Case 3330, recovered from a defunct streaming platform under the account name A Quiet Room. Between April and May 2020, the user streamed nightly. Static shots of a dim living room, their couch, TV, or their hallway, with titles such as "Proof I'm Not Alone." This raised eyebrows and grabbed attention from his audience, wondering what the streamer meant. The first few nights, nothing. Just hums, low ambient noise from the refrigerator. Viewers joked that this was just performance art or clickbait. However, by day 7, faint silhouettes started appearing behind the couch, too tall to be a shadow, too still to be a person. Chat held out on this, but the streamer didn't react. They just kept typing in chat. Day 8. The figure moved closer now. Couch slightly shifted. Soft, rhythmic breathing could be heard under the static. The streamer looked scared, tears falling occasionally, eye bags growing by the day, and fear stamped across their face. Chat questioned, however, he never answered still. Day 9. Camera fell sideways. The stream continued, yet it was just darkness and whispering. The account was banned hours later. Investigators traced IPs to an apartment nearby. No rent was paid in months, however. 6 months later, the account went live again. Same room, same camera angle. However, there was no chat, only whispering. Louder now, and closer. 3 cases, 3 lives that slipped through isolation. Some say the lockdown kept us safe, but silence reveals things. Maybe these weren't isolated incidents. Maybe something moves in when the noise stops. These files were never meant to surface, but now that you've heard them, you're part of the record too.